Good morning, everyone. I am kind of sitting here this morning as I was up late last night, clicking away on my computer, kind of feeling God's nudge to share a little bit more with the people who take the time to watch these videos. So this is an interesting day for me. I'm taking a little bit of a trip down memory lane. So grab a cup of coffee. Make sure it's nice and hot. Mine just got microwaved because it wasn't hot enough. But I'm not going to take a full trip down memory lane. I shared a tiny bit of my story last week, but just the last 3 years today. So have you ever kind of wondered and felt like you've been adrift a bit, like you don't quite know exactly what you're supposed to be doing? Or God, like what there's no direction here. I feel like I'm should be doing something. I should be working better at something, but I don't know what to do. And I was kind of like that for a chunk of time. Like, I went to school and I got, different jobs and, learning about my field. And I felt like I was in motion then. And then more recently, like I've settled into a job. I've been there a year and a half, feeling pretty good about it. Feel like this is where I'm supposed to be. But then I felt like there was more and I didn't know what it was more, what the more was. So the idea that kept circulating through my head, like it started to become intrusive. And I had one of those about 3 years ago. So if I was going to call myself, obsessive, this was possibly it. A title for a book started like popping up in my head. And I'm like, a title for a book? I don't write books. Love writing. Did well at it in college. Always been my thing. I read books. If I was going to look back and say, oh, as a teenager, I thought being a photojournalist or a novel writer or something, yeah, sounded great. Never really took that seriously. It was a teenage idea. You know what I mean? But this thought and the title of this book would not let me go. Like it was stuck. And so I kept starting like just praying, I guess, a little bit, but I didn't know what to do with it. So eventually it got intrusive enough that I opened up a Word document and kind of stared at the keys and I don't know what to do. So I just wrote a sentence and then I wrote another sentence. And just, sentences had no meaning. Just wrote something that came out of this crazy wild head. But pretty soon I was clicking away and I had like 3 pages written by the time I was done. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, here's something. I don't know what it is, but there it is. So this lasted like a few weeks. I didn't do anything with it. I would feel prompted every now and then to write a little bit. But a lot of times I'd ignore it because I don't have time for that today or what am I supposed to do with that? So this went off and on for like a couple months, and there'd be like 2-month periods of time where I didn't touch that Word document in my computer. And so that kind of went back and forth for about 6 months, where I literally may have had a few pages written, 5 to 7 at the tops. And finally, the one day that I felt like I was supposed to get on my computer and write. And I was just being a putz. God made me nauseous. He really wasn't taking no for an answer anymore. And so I kind of went from being in neutral, feeling these nudges, to if I didn't get going, I was going to be nauseous. And I finally okay, God, put down the 2x4. I got it. I will write. I don't know what you want me to write, but I will write. So that kind of continued for a bit, and I got a few more pages and blah, 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 but God kept impressing on me ideas. I have this folder in my phone, and every time something would pop into my head that was completely not of me, and I knew it. I don't come up with those thoughts. I would write it down because I'm like, oh, that's really good. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but this folder got pretty long. And the ideas kind of started to be something that was a cohesive unit. And so I started adding them to what I was writing, and it started to come form into something, right? And so that fall, like 6 months later or what, somewhere into there, I took a trip. I went camping. I drove to Utah in my car, and I was car camping. I had bought the inflatable mattress, you know what I mean, that goes in the back of your car. I had my little small grill with, and one cooler and a bag of clothes. Literally, I could camp in there, no problem, by myself. Felt comfortable doing that. It was in October, so camping in Wyoming on the way out, that was a little cold. I have stories about that. I think I scared a park ranger. But I got to Utah. I actually met a friend down there. We hiked a couple of days, but mostly I had found some BLM land, which is free, and just parked my car there, and that was my tent. At this time of the year, we weren't going to really have any problems with, bears and cougars and things like that. So I just threw my girl outside the car and went to sleep in the back. But by 7 o'clock every night at this time, it's dark, 6:37. So I bought a lot of firewood because I'm not going to sleep at 7. And it's beautiful. The campsite I found had a bluff behind it, and there was like a stream running through it. So bought my natural soap, could take little baths in there and things like that. But it was the most beautiful place. And I spent pretty much 2.5 hours every night, praying, reading different things, writing in my book, and just kind of like being alone. And I loved it. It was one of the most special times of my life. So eventually my friend joined me, and we car camped our way through Utah and then blasted for home. But like those first, I think I was gone a total of like 10 or 12 days, something like that. So the first 5 I was by myself, the second 5, 6, whatever it was, I was camping with my friend. But that book actually got published a year later, which was, I kind of was a putz about that too, because I'm like, God, you made me write that, you promote it. It's on Amazon, but I've done nothing to I've only shared it with a few people. I was still kind of being a putz about it. Talk about bad attitude. Call somebody having a tude. That was me. So, but I thought it was done, but evidently God was not, because 2 years ago, I think, I was up north snowmobiling with my husband, and beautiful Minnesota, northern Minnesota wilderness. We're out there with our sleds, just ripping it up. I might drive more crazy than I should. But it's beautiful and it's wonderful. And the thought came to me, here I am, 50 plus. I'm still doing these things. I'm not home sitting on the couch watching Netflix. I'm not dead yet. It's the name of our channel. Not dead yet, 50. And my first thought was, when I got back to civilization, because I had no reception, was I gotta call Angie. That's my car camping friend. We've known each other since 2nd grade. Raised our kids together, the whole 9 yards, still really good friends. So she and I have this YouTube channel, and I wasn't quite sure what that was all about, because again, I don't video stuff and I don't edit videos. I don't even know how to start that. So starting that YouTube channel was like completely, I was hit and miss. We did not know what we were doing. So, but I learned to video a bunch of stuff. I learned to edit videos, and lo and behold, I really like it. Like, it's fun. I even enjoy doing this, talking to myself, to my phone. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I enjoy this. I enjoy sharing with people and sharing parts of my life with people. So, ironically, we have 725 subscribers. Evidently, there's over 700 people in this world that want to watch 2 crazy old ladies go do some pretty stupid stuff. We do some crazy stuff. We climb a lot of things we probably shouldn't. And our last rappel, we celebrated 500 subscribers with rappelling down a 200-foot rappels. It was wonderful. I can't wait to do it again. This requires more coffee. A year ago, I felt another nudge. So here I am, 1 book, 1 YouTube channel, right? A deep desire to increase my impact for God. Feeling like I was supposed to do it on the internet. And again, I'm fighting it. I'm like, I wrote the book. I already have 1 YouTube channel. I have a job that is very mentally intense. I don't need any more of this. I'm full. Thanks, God. Oh, and you know what? My church, I volunteer and sing and play. Well, at the time, every single week, I was playing and singing in church. But ironically, since this second channel started, God provided me an opportunity to step down from that position. I only substitute now. Thanks, God. So God, I feel kind of impressed me to do more of this. But again, I fought that one. So I was out walking one day. This was over a year ago. And I was looking for something on YouTube to listen to as I was walking. And there's this guy I follow on YouTube. I think his name is Alan Parr. I like a lot of his videos. But he was going to share his testimony. I'm like, oh, cool. I'd love to hear his testimony, right? So I clicked on that and started walking. 5 minutes into the video, I'm like, when is his testimony going to start? So I clicked back and I looked at what I was listening to. It was him telling us that we should be starting a YouTube channel. What? Why? At this point, I don't know what to say. I'm like, what do you want? Yes, God, you. What do you want from me? So, Coffee with Carrie was born. Here I am. At this point, I'm kind of speechless because I don't know exactly like what are you trying to do to me? Work a full-time job, mom, stepmom, church, book, 2 YouTube channels. I gotta say, I've learned to love this more and more. I was pretty spotty at, putting up videos at first, and now I'm pretty regular, 5-6 days a week, probably depending on where I am. I'm out in the middle of nowhere. Sometimes I don't post a video, but I'm pretty consistent, and I've really learned to enjoy it. Plus, it's kind of taken my relationship with God to a whole new level too, because every morning, kind of the first thing I do when I get up is open my Bible, and I kind of just crack it open and see where I get to. And God usually provides me either one of those devotionals that you guys hear, every now and then, or a chunk of scripture that I'm like, oh, okay, this is good. I'm gonna share this today. So it's really taken my focus into something that was new and a different depth than I had experienced before. So at this point, I'm like, God, what do you want me to do? Become a full-time content creator? Because I do love that, but I still have a job. And in the middle of all this, in the last 6 months, he gave me another idea for another book and started just feeding me, again, the intrusive thoughts. I started another folder on my phone and just started writing stuff down as it came to me, because it just kind of flowed out. So this last book I've been writing on for about the 4 months, and I've got 12 chapters, almost done with it. And again, I contribute it to God and his blasted ideas. Because they just seem to kind of keep pouring forth. And this is nothing I'm doing. I guess I have to provide the willing vessel to do it, which has not been very willing at sometimes. Sometimes it's been very snarky and angry. But I had to kind of just decide I was gonna allow it. I was gonna follow. And since he's given me these ideas, I guess, who am I to not write them and put them to paper, right? So why do I tell you all of this? God put something in front of us, and it's different for all of us. But there's a calling on each of our lives. And God knows, our past, our present, and our future. And I feel like we have a lot of fear. And for me, it was I don't write books. What are you talking about? I don't edit videos. I've never edited a video in my life. But God can show you. He can. There's YouTube videos for that. How do you think I learned how to edit videos? I watched a YouTube video. And then I played around with a bunch of stuff and figured out which, sorry, I had a little gnat flyby, which program worked best for me. What I need enough, but not too much. So all those things, he can put them together. it's only because of God that I sit here with a cup of coffee talking to you all. And I'm enjoying it. I didn't realize I would, but here I am. So you have to get out of your comfort zone. You have to trust him that his ideas are the best and that he can bring out of you whatever you need or whatever he needs from you. Like, it's in there somewhere, or he'll put it in there. He knows the desires of your heart. So I don't think he forgets those. I think he knows that deep down inside, like this, what you think is a side trip, not the direct route. You know, the little meme that says, you know, me and heaven or whatever, and it's full of mountains and moats and alligators and places where you got to climb over the ropes and climb up the ropes and, you know, zip line here. And this journey is not a straight line. And would I want it to be that way? Probably not. But like, he hears you. He knows what will fulfill your deepest desires. And you might not even know what those desires are. I started out this video saying, had felt a little lost, didn't know what to do, kind of adrift. You probably don't know your desires. He does. And he has a direction, he has a way to get you there. But you have to be like willing to take steps and consider things that you would never before in your life considered. So it's our fears that kind of keep us held back, thinking that we're not good enough, we don't have the skill set, whatever it is. He can dig up talents you didn't know you had. And he can use them in ways you could never imagine. So if you'd asked me 3 years ago if I'd have written 2 books and started sharing on 2 different YouTube channels, I'd have said, no. Are you nuts? Here I am. And it's good. So this is my encouragement. When you feel like there's an idea or something coming to the surface, don't immediately dismiss it. Pray about it. Talk to other people about it. Let it kind of... It took me months to have that first book idea kind of rolled around in there, me telling God, you're a nutcase. But don't immediately dismiss it. God speaks to us. I've experienced through nudges, through little things that happen, and you're like, okay, odd. I'll consider it. So allow yourself to not be ruled by your fear and to consider something that might give you as you're journeying through it, might give you immense joy and might put you in a position where you are uniquely able to be used by him, maybe to a different crowd that you never thought you could imagine speaking to or being impactful to before in your life. So if there's something he wants you to do, pray that it becomes obvious. Pray that the creative whatever juices inside of you start flowing and you start feeling a little bit of more of a direction, but don't immediately dismiss it, because when you pray, the heavens open up and he will fill you with whatever he needs you to be filled with. Old saying, still true. He doesn't call the equipped. He equips the called. Grab a cup of coffee. Go stew on that.